Hello everybody and welcome back to Season 43 of the Pichu London Cup Series, and today we're at the Charlotte Roval for the running of the Bank of America Roval 400, and this is the cutoff race for round number 1 of the playoffs. 4 drivers will be eliminated after this race, so let's take a look at the playoff standings right now. Matt Gomes last weekend won at Bristol on a last lap pass against Sam Oscon. So he will move on over to round number 2 of the playoffs no matter what happens here today. And there you see all the others above the cutoff. Our eyes will be focused on the 12th and final transfer spot. Bernesh owns it with 3 points above the cutoff. Leisure is 3 points behind the cutoff, and Fitzwater 6 points behind, and Niall O'Hare is 8 points behind. Matthew Buss is 14 points behind. 3 of the 4 drivers in the cutoff, or below the cutoff I should say, are from Storehouse Racing, and they could have all 4 of their cars not make the next round, or Landon Smith Jr. could survive and move on, or we could see 2 or all 4 of them could make it to the next round if they have great finishes here today. Anything goes here in the playoffs for those 4 drivers below the cutoff, and we'll keep our eyes on them throughout the race here today. So they're hoping to advance out of the cutoff and into the next round. We shall see. Anyway, on the pole is Garrett Albertson in the number 2 car. Yes, the only driver without a win in the playoffs is on the pole here today, and looking to get a win and to advance to round number 2 as well. Sam Oscon was runner-up last weekend. He'll start on the front row alongside him. Paul Barber and Owen Miles in row number 2. In row 3 is Landon Smith Jr. and Leisha Quillies. And then Niall O'Hare, Matt Gomes starts row 4. Cassie Reynolds, Matthew Buss in row 5. Ron Rodriguez and Isaiah Bernesh in row 6, Casey Hoyt, Zach Fitzwater row 7, and Nathan Ormond and Allison Rain round out the drivers among the playoff field here today. Let's take a look at all the other drivers starting here today, and we have some part-timers in the field as well in this one, and we have Pichu returning in the 88 car today, and the 50 car driven by Jackson Nantel. So Pichu is making a comeback here today, running on the Roval. It'll be an 18-lap race at the Roval, and it's sure going to be a lot of fun to be on this treacherous road course here. And a lot of these drivers already have experience around the Roval, but some rookies, for some, this is the first time they're running on the Roval. And it's also going to be our last road course we're running this season, so it's the last chance for the road course specialists to get a win or to get a win here today at Charlotte. Last road course of the season. Here we go. Pace car to pit road. Who will make it to round number 2 along with Matt Gomes? Here we go to the green flag. We're back underway in the Bank of America Roval 400. And a great start there by Garrett Albertson, and Sam Oscon not far behind. But with all the finishes he has, Oscon might just make it on points. But he wants to win again. But he does want to win again, though. Oscon, an expert on the road courses, he last won on a road course. That was back at Bahrain earlier this season. So will he go for another one here today? Albertson's doing a pretty good job at pulling away early on. We'll see if he can dominate this race here today, but he knows he can't afford a mistake. Cannot afford a mistake at this point in any of these corners. These corners are tougher than they look. So there he goes into the chicane there. Albertson in the lead right now in the first lap, and it looks like he'll take the first lap. We're going to stay green on this one because usually we have a wreck or two around a couple times around the Roval, but looks like they've gotten the hang of the Charlotte Roval, and they're going to keep on racing. And Zach Fitzwater just went off the track, and there's a caution. Wow, just when I said it, a caution comes out. Wait a minute. Where did this caution come from? I don't see anybody spinning. I think it was John Andrews. I don't know. We were about to be clean. We were close to being cleaned, and then something happened. There was a spin. I kind of cannot pinpoint where the caution came out. Let's just take a look. It came out a little early. Yeah, it came out very early. So let's take a look at when the caution came out. Did somebody spin? Wow, I don't know. Let me check. No one here to spin, but all were going good. I don't know. I think there was the 5. I think it was the 5 that spun. And sure enough, it was the... Oh no, the 20 and the 5 got to some contact. Yeah, it looks like the 20 got too... Yeah, he got too tight on that corner. And the 5 car, John Andrews, he went around. He just went around over the 12. That's what brought the caution out. And I'm not sure why that would bring a caution, because he's in the back of the pack. Maybe it's because all the cars going by him very quickly. I think that's the only reason the caution would come out at with a wreck like this at a road course. But I guess they want to be a little safe here, so they're going to line up everybody again. John Andrews is back out, so it looks like he's going to continue, but that's why we're under caution with that little spin with John Andrews. Yeah, I don't think it would really bring out a caution, but I guess trying to slow down the cars, maybe try to reorganize a little bit, regroup everybody after that 5-car spin. After the number 5 spin, I should say. So anyway, back to the green flag. Lap number 4. Here we go. Green flag back in the air for Garrett Albertson in the lead. Will Garrett Albertson get his first win this season here today? He's the only of the playoff drivers without a victory. He's looking to get one of his own here today. Salmon Ozcon, he's been so close winning here. He almost won at Bristol last weekend. And until he got that, and he got passed on the final lap by Matt Gomes on that restart. It was insane. It was a great finish there. It was a memorable finish at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Ooh, 11 got a little contact with the wall. Oh, 22 slow. And Paul Barber gets by 3rd. Oh, man. A slow run there. Yikes. So we're going to go back to the green flag. Paul Barber in front. Right, I'm sorry, not Paul Barber. Garrett Albertson's in front. Let's see if he can make it through the chicane. This is where the 5-car spun. 38. Oh, a little brush up with the wall there. Oh, the 8 spins. 4 spins around. Zach Fitzwater just went around in the same corner as as the 5 of John Andrews. Let's take another look at that. Oh, man. He took a bad run right in the corner, and he spins with Casey Hoyt. Oh, man. Zach Fitzwater, he really did not need... excuse me. He did not need a finish like that, but, man, that's going to really hurt his chances to advance. And it looks like Dmitry Barnovsky got into some trouble. Oh, big pileup. Stewie Moore. A lot of issues with this corner for many of these drivers, and there you see Richardson stuck. But Stewie Moore wasn't able to get out of the... excuse me, wasn't able to get out of the turtles. Stewie Moore got into traffic, and Dmitry Barnovsky got into a little bit of damage. Caution's out again. This time, for real this time. A little crash on the S's on that chicane. That chicane, this one has been the toughest of them all. It seems that these drivers have had a lot of trouble getting through that chicane. Going back to the green, and as you can see, Cassidy Reynolds and Nathan Ormond are out of the race. Oh man, this is going to really hurt their chances to make it to the next round. Oh boy, there must have been a wreck that I didn't even realize, or something must have gone wrong with the two drivers. Those are two playoff drivers out of the race with Reynolds and Ormond. Oh man, this is going to be huge. So it's going to be tough to see who is going to make it to round 2. This will be interesting. So Garrett Albertson in the lead. He has dominated this race from start to finish, and the caution's out again. And this time they didn't even get to the S's. And I can't even see what the caution's out. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why the yellow's out again, but oh, 6 is spun. Oh, the 6 of Isaiah Bernesh. He's having some trouble getting through the chicane. Spins around. He's still trying to get back on his feet. Oh, man. And he's dropping a lot of positions. Oh, another playoff driver with issues here at the Roval. Man, this has been a wreck fest. And no doubt about it, this has just been a back and forth wreck fest. It's been crazy so far for these playoff drivers. A lot of big names, a lot of big playoff drivers with struggles here at the Roval. And this is why we're under caution. Ryan Durante was around. Yep, Ryan Durante went around the 99 car of Coda Butcher. Oh, no, it was not the 99. It was Darian Town that took out the 18 on the side. Oh, Darian Town contact with Durante, and he went around. That brought the caution out. But it really should have been for the 6 car getting spun around on the S's and causing a bit of a traffic jam. So that 6 car not doing so great right now. No other driver out of the race. Back to green. A little contact with the wall. Look at Paul Barber. He just moved up to 3rd. Paul Barber just moved up to 3rd place. Oh, he's getting some big points here today. Trying to advance to round 2. Trying to get 2nd from Salmon Ozcon. Oh no! 1 car up in the wall, but he does make it, and now more cars in the wall. That has been that's been one of the trouble spots for these drivers here at the Roval. That has been one big trouble spot. They better slow down here, because the S's are coming up right here. This has been the tough turn that a lot of drivers have had trouble with. Right now, they're doing just fine. I think they've gotten the hang of it right now. It looks like everybody's gotten the hang of it, so they're going to keep on racing with 9 to go. And for the first time today, we have a green flag run of more than 1 lap. So at this point, they have now gotten the hang of it, at least for now. So they're going to try to negotiate this course with 8 to go. And they better not make a mistake now, because points are on the line here in this race at the Roval. Albertson trying to hang on and get himself into round number 2. He's got a big lead over Samad Ozcon, but he's got to really be very careful with his next moves, because this is a very tough course. And we've seen some troubles, and we have some trouble spots for these drivers. They've been struggling mostly to get through them without spinning each other out. And here's another one here in the chicane right here, the slow chicane. A lot of wrecks a lot of spins have happened at this chicane, and it looks like the leaders are gonna make it through, but not the others in the back. And a caution's out. Somebody spun out, and I don't think it was in the chicane. And the caution's out again after a green flag run. We had our first green flag run of the day, and now the caution's out on the next one. And it definitely probably was not at the S's for sure. And the caution was out, I believe, for Isaiah Bernesh. Oh. Nicky Maxwell got into a spin as well, but that did not bring the caution. So Nicky Maxwell got into some trouble. It did not bring the yellow out. Not immediately. And she got into some trouble with Connor Breton, and there's Alex Hawkins hit from behind. This is where the caution really happened. There you see the 6 car up in the wall. Just struggled to get out of the zone, and yeah, he just struggled. And that brought the caution. So the 6th car, yeah, not a good day for him. And Bernashi really cannot afford a bad finish like this here today, as he really needs all the points he can get to advance. But now he's got to hope that he has enough points from the other 2 races to get him into the next round. Anyway, back to the green with 5 laps to go. I mean, can anybody make the pass on Garrett Albertson? We've had a lot of wrecks back behind them, but no one's been able to make a move on the 2. Will the 2 finally get another victory here today at... Will the 2 finally win a race here this season at the Roval? Here comes Paul Barber. And look at Barber, the 24 car is gaining on the 11. He could take second, and we'll see if he can catch the 2 if he does take second. But Albertson, though, he's on a roll. He's trying to keep the win. He's trying to get into the next round of the playoffs and get a win out of the way, and he'll try to go for a championship. Couple drivers going side by side into the chicane. It looks like they're going to stay put. Looks like they're going to keep it clean. 4 to go at the Roval. Just 4 more laps around the Roval. There could still be an overtime finish potentially at this point. So I don't think the 2 would want to have an overtime finish, because anything can happen with a double fall restart at a track like this. So the 2 cars hoping that there's not another caution coming out. All these drivers, though, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to stay out of wrecking each other, because we've had a ton of wrecks here today at the Roval. A lot of wrecking has happened, especially in this corner. This corner has been a trouble spot for many drivers. Even playoff drivers have had some trouble getting through cleanly. Front runners currently have gone through it, but will they stick with it? Will they get through the S's again right here? A big chicane coming up. Will they get through without any issue? The front runners, at least with experience, they're able to get through it without a hitch. 3 to go at the Roval. The 2 cars got to be smooth right here for the rest of the way. He's got to be very smooth. His lead is extended, by the way, over a 1.5 seconds over Samet Ozkan. But will the caution be out before they take the white? A lot of wrecks have happened here at the Roval. A lot of crashes, a lot of big wrecks have happened. So hopefully, the 2 is hoping that another caution doesn't come out for the rest of the race. Here they come into the S's right now. A trouble spot, as we mentioned earlier, the big trouble spot entering turn 2, entering turn 1, and then entering the turn 2. And now we head into the chicane right now before they head to the oval turn 3. Right here is the chicane. Will the 2 car make it through? Looks like a lot of drivers like gaps with one another, but you never know what could happen. 2 laps to go at the Roval. Just 2 more laps around for Garrett Albertson at the Roval, as he's trying to hang on for dear life here today. And I think he has increased the lead, and sure enough, he's increased it by almost a second, up to almost 2.5 seconds over Samet Ozkan. He has led every lap so far, but he is trying his best to get through these tough corners without having another caution flown before he takes the white. That's all he's hoping for a caution to not come out. But we've seen wreckage back and forth, though, so not a guarantee. And into the corners right here, into this big braking corner. And coming up is the chicane, of course, the big chicane that they've got to get through. Got to get through unscathed. Got to get through perfectly like they've have in the laps they've had before. They've got a lot of practice at this track. Got a ton of practice from other events and of course PLCS events that have been running at the Roval. So they know a thing or two about the turns left and right that the Roval providing. We're staying green for now. White flag is coming out in the air for Garrett Albertson. 1 lap to go, and all he has to worry about now is getting through this track perfectly on this final lap. 3-second lead over Samad Ozkan, and he can coax from there, but not yet though, because he's got to navigate the turns one more time. On the pole, Garrett Albertson dominates the race so far. See if he can hang on for the win here today. Will the 2 cars survive? And the caution's out, but he already took the white flag. How about that? The yellow flag comes out, but he already took the white flag, so he doesn't have to worry. This race will be over on this lap. If it happened a lap earlier, then he would have been in trouble, because that could have been overtime there, but instead, they'll race back to the checkers. He was the only playoff driver without a victory this season. He got in on points, but now Garrett Albertson finally might have a victory in his hands. Final corner for the number 2 car, and he will make it to round number 2. Garrett Albertson comes off the final turn. He takes the checkers at the Roval 400 at Charlotte. Garrett Albertson is in the round number 2, and he wins for the first time in season 43. Was the only playoff driver to not win this season. He was the only one to make it on points, but he finally now has a win to his name here in season 43, and it comes at the Roval. And more importantly, he's in the next round. So in a moment we will show you who will make it to round 2 and which 4 will be eliminated from championship contention. Let's take a look at what brought the caution on the final lap. And by the time the caution came out, Albertson already took the white flag. He was long gone. He already took the white flag. So no other caution would stop him at this point on the final lap. I don't know what the caution was out for. Might have been some contact, some debris flying, and oh, the 6 car. Yikes. Little contact with Alex Hawkins, went into the grass, and they spun. 20 car spins, and that's what brought the caution on the final lap. And tough day for the 6 car, but he's able to make it through. But the 20, man, he's not going to be too thrilled with what the 6 did. He was trying to get more points. The 6 was just trying to get a little bit more points in hopes of keeping him alive in the race for the championship. We'll see if that is enough, though, for him to advance. So that's it from the Charlotte Roval, and here are the results. As Garrett Albertson takes the win here today at the Roval, and Samad Ozkan finishes a runner-up for the 2nd consecutive race. What are the odds of being runner-up for 2 races in a row? Wow, that's just unprecedented odds, but I think with the points he achieved, Samad Ozkan might be safe into round number 2 on points. But we'll see if he goes for redemption in round number 2 of the playoffs if he does make it through. There's all the drivers that retired from this race, and there you see only 3 cars were out of the race, and 2 of them were playoff drivers. The question is, will they be eliminated from the playoffs just on this race, or will they have enough points for them to advance? So those are all the drivers that finished, and I'm not going to list through the playoff drivers that finished in where. We're gonna go straight to the points and see who will advance to round number 2. So stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, let's show you the drivers that made it to the round of 12. First off, of course, Matt Gomes made it in, and Garrett Albertson made it in, both on wins, so they're in the next round. Owen Miles made it in on points, 42 points above the cutoff, so he's in the next round as well. Samad Ozkan, I mentioned earlier that with his back-to-back runner-ups, it would be more than enough points for him to advance, and sure enough it does advance him to the round of 12. in the 4th position. And now let's see. 5th position is Paul Barber. Barber makes it into the next round of the playoffs, 34 points above the cutoff. And in 6th, we have Casey Hoyt, 32 points above the cutoff. He's also going to be in round number 2. And you saw a little bit of 7th and 8th, but 7th is going to be Landon Smith Jr. in the round of 12. And Juan Rodriguez will be in the round of 12 as well. So let's take a look at the others. Unleash Your Quillies, he was below the cutoff before the race, and guess what? He makes it above the cutoff in this race. So Unleash Your Quillies makes it into round number 2 of the playoffs. He is in. Let's see who's the other driver that's in. Allison Rain makes it into the playoffs to the next round, round of 12, finishing 13 points above the cutoff. 2 more spots left. And who's going to get him? They're going to be Cassidy Reynolds, 10 points above the cutoff. And the final driver in is going to be Matthew Buss. Only one Stewart-Haas car makes it to the round of 12 barely. 2 points above that cutoff line. Matthew Buss was able to make it into the round of 12 barely, with the last driver to make it into the 2nd round. And here are the 4 drivers that are eliminated. And Nathan Ormond had a very bad race, and it cost him the chance to advance into the next round. Matthew Buss and Landon Smith Jr. forgot to mention there are 2 cars in Stewart-Haas Racing that made it into the next round. So 2 of them made it in. The other 2 are going to see their championship hopes come to an end. Nathan Ormond had a very bad race, and unfortunately that's going to cost him. And he's going to finish below the cutoff, and his championship hopes come to an end. 2 points below the cutoff. All it took was just one bad race. Niall O'Hare, 3 points below the cutoff, will also not make the field. He's also eliminated. And Zachary Fitzwater will have to wait another season for a championship because he has been eliminated, 12 points below the cutoff. And Isaiah Bernesh was the one that wrecked out, and he actually finished his last among the playoff drivers in round number 1, 14 below the cutoff. So we have our 4 drivers eliminated: Ormond, O'Hare, Fitzwater, and Bernesh. They will see their championship hopes come to an end in this race. So those are the 12 drivers that'll make the playoffs, and the points have been reset, of course, to adjust this. And Owen Miles, he'll be the top driver in the points heading into the round of 12, alongside Cassidy Reynolds, Landon Smith Jr., Matt Gomes, Juan Rodriguez, Allison Rain, Garrett Albertson, Matthew Buss, Paul Barber, Sam Ozcon, Casey Hoyt, and Unleash Your Quillies, all making it into the round of 12, and the points reset, of course, every round. So Owen Miles is going to lead the pack once again. Hope you enjoyed our race from the Roval, and coming up next, it's the start of the round of 12, baby. We're going to Martinsville next weekend to kick off round number 2. So until then, we hope to see you guys there at the paperclip, and we'll see you next time.